If there's one thing that I'm really good at, I would have to say being motivated to get up and go running, walking, jogging, whatever it is that I'm going to do in the morning. Recently, I started getting up early to go running or jogging or walking every morning because my little one stopped taking naps. And so also my dog was recently starting to get really sad because I wasn't walking him every day. And so I had to push myself to start waking up early to go running. And because I've been talking about this with a lot of friends and family, I've been receiving a lot of emails or questions about how it is that I stay motivated to go running in the mornings, because I've been pretty consistent. So I thought I would make this video for those of you who have the time to go running but don't really want to or don't know how to find the motivation. I put together this email that I wrote to one of my family members, and I'm going to copy and paste it right in the information box. So if you don't want to hear me talking about this and you just want the information, just go down to the information box. And I have to apologize, but I am watching my little one and there is a lot of noise going on, but I'll try to speak really loud over all of the noise. So again, if you don't want to hear me reading this list, you don't want to hear the details, just go to the information box. It's all there. And otherwise, if you want to hear me talk about it, here it goes. The first thing that you're going to need is, and all of these things is, these are the tools that you're going to have to prepare the night before. You're going to need a jacket, especially if you're running early in the morning and it's cold outside. You're going to need a fanny pack or some sort of pouch to carry with you, to carry all of your things. And you're going to need to prepare some walking or jogging shoes. Make sure that whatever shoes you decide to wear, that they are at least a half size larger than what your regular size is. So like, for example, if your shoe size is like 5.5, then go out and get some size 6 shoes. And the reason is because a lot of times, like when you're running like downhill or you're just running a lot in general, shoes that fit you like perfectly, they tend to kind of like rub on your toes or add pressure on your toes, and they just don't fit as comfortable. So if you wear them like a half size larger, it doesn't hurt as much when you're running. The other thing you want to prepare is you want to have ready some walking or jogging clothes. This would be something that isn't going to fall as you're running, so make sure that it fits you nice and tight around your waist. Make sure that it is something that maybe you could even like tie up, and make sure that like as you're running, so test it, put it on, make sure that it doesn't fall or sag as you're running or make you feel uncomfortable in any way, because the last thing you want to do when you're jogging or even walking is to be messing around with your clothes because they're falling off or they just don't fit comfortable. So make sure that you wear like a nice shirt that isn't going to make you feel uncomfortable either. So a t-shirt is pretty ideal. You're also going to want to wear some comfortable socks. So whatever socks you choose, put them on and see if they don't sag as you're running. So like a lot of times socks, like when you put them on, like even like the booty types, when you're running with them, they kind of tend to like say for example, if this is like your heel, it'll kind of like start falling down into your foot or into your shoe, and it just makes it really uncomfortable. Also, if you wear socks that are not fitted right, they're going to tend to slide off or kind of like fall off while you're jogging and make you uncomfortable. So just make sure that you wear comfortable socks. Of course, make sure that you wear comfortable underwear, and that includes a well-fitting jogging bra if you're a girl, and of course underwear that doesn't ride up on you as you're running. A hair tie if you have long hair, and or a hat to keep the sun out of your face if you're going to be running in the morning and usually the sun is really bright. Sunglasses to keep the sun out of your eyes. A tissue in case you need to blow your nose while you're running. Sometimes, you know, your nose gets a little runny when you're jogging in the cold. A small towel to wipe your sweat if necessary. A leash for your dogs if they're coming with you or your dog. Although for the first 2 weeks, I don't recommend taking your dogs with you, especially if you're just starting out. If your dog or your dogs are not trained to walk, meaning they pee on everything that they want to, everything that they see, every bush, every tree, they want to stop and they want to pee. if they're aggressive towards other dogs. Like in general, if you're not able to walk your dogs and it's like a pleasant thing and they don't really run with you, but they're more kind of like wanting to do their own jog or their own walk, I wouldn't recommend taking them for the first 2 weeks, because you're going to be training yourself to walk or jog or run first before you can train your dog. Because if you take them with you, there's a higher chance that you're going to get frustrated and you're not going to want to go the next day. If your dog is trained and they're able to come with you, then you also want to bring little bags just in case like you have to clean up after them during their walk. If you have kids or a baby, you definitely want to take a jogging stroller, and you want to take one that's all-terrain, meaning you can go like on dirt, you can go on pavement, anything. I highly recommend that you take your jogging stroller, take it to a bike shop, and have them insert these things in the wheels that makes them like spine proof, meaning like you don't get as many flat tires as usual. I've had mine installed for about a year and I haven't had a flat tire, so it's great. And I've been like all over the place. I've been in the mountains and the trails, like at the park, and it's been great. If you're gonna take your baby with you or your kids, if you're gonna take your baby with you or your kids or whatever, make sure you take things to bundle them up. So that would be like a blanket, hat, jacket, gloves, whatever it is that they need to keep warm. And if not, then take like some snacks or maybe like a drink of water with them to have, and stick those in the stroller with you. Because a lot of times, like this happens to me, like my little one gets bored in the stroller. They want to get out and they don't want to be there anymore. They want to like go home. So I usually bring out some snacks and stuff like that, and that kind of calms them down. And of course, you want to have music. Make sure that you plan your music the night before. Put a playlist together or set your Pandora to like one of your favorite radio stations. Make sure it's like fast beat music, you know, that keeps you running at a like specific pace. And this tool is optional. You're going to use something that measures your distance and your pace. What I use is an application on my iPhone. It's called the Nike Plus GPS, and it does just that. You can also use like a pedometer or anything to kind of measure the distance that you're running. What you can also do is you can kind of like go on Google Maps and measure like what the distance is around your block, for example, or around the park where you're going to be jogging or walking or whatever. And measure how much it is when you go around once, or measure how much it is when you walk from one place to another and then back. Because you really want to keep track of your distance and your pace. So you want to have like a watch or something to keep track of the time, how long it takes you to get from point A to point B or around a specific place. And then of course you can carry with you like a real small water bottle, something that's going to fit in your fanny pack. And then you can carry anything else with you that you wish, for example, like the keys to your house or anything like that. You can get creative with things that you'll need. And then we're moving on to the steps. Step 1, you're going to put all of these things in order and have them ready in the same spot every night. This is going to be your new routine. So for example, you can put like your jogging stuff just like right by your door. You can even buy like a little basket and keep everything by your bed. You can keep it right by the door, like outside, you know, to go outside. You're just going to put these things, they're always going to be in the same spot every day. So when you come back from running, you're going to put them away where they belong so that you have access to them the following night. If you need to use them throughout the day, just make sure that you put them back where they belong at night before you go to bed. Step 2, you're going to plan your time. That means setting your alarm to wake up at least 1 hour before you want to wake up, and snooze it as much as you want for an hour if you need to. This is what works for me. If that doesn't work for you, don't do that. For example, if you want to wake up at 6 a.m., set your clock at 5 a.m. If you have a difficult time waking up anyway, make sure that you put your clock like somewhere else, like maybe in your bathroom or just somewhere far away from you. Remember that you're going to need at least 30 minutes to get ready in the morning. So if you wake up at 6, you're probably not going to leave your house until 6:30 a.m. So just keep that in mind when you're setting your alarm clock. Step 3, the night before you go to bed, make sure that you go to bed on time and go to bed early. For example, if you plan to wake up at 6 a.m., be in bed by 10 p.m. at least. Get 8 hours of sleep minimum, or as many hours as you need. Some people don't really need that much sleep. Me, for example, my biggest problem is that my little one goes to bed anywhere between 8 and 10 p.m. We have a routine, but because we work, sometimes it doesn't really function, and so my little one ends up going to sleep sometimes at 10 o'clock at night. What does that mean? That means I don't get any free time. That means that anything that I wanted to do for myself on my own time isn't going to happen. Step 4, in the morning when the alarm goes off and says it's time to get up. There isn't much advice that I can give you here because it's not the same for everyone. For me, it's like if I don't go to bed on time and the alarm clock goes off 5, 6 in the morning, I'm just not going to wake up. I mean, I have a real difficult time getting out of bed if I go to bed late. So if this happens to you, even if you go to bed early, the only thing I can tell you, which is what works for me, is at that moment, you've got to tell yourself to get up, and then you have to physically remove yourself from the bed, even if you don't want to, even if you're doing it with your eyes closed. I have an inner person inside of me that's very much like me, that tells me and forces me to get up. And they sound a little something like this. Get out of bed now. I know. That's how I have to talk to myself to get myself out of bed. That's what works for me. You can use my image and program it into your head if you want and use it in the mornings. It's up to you. Whatever works, that's what works for me. Step 5, when you're ready to walk as much as you want. Don't push yourself, especially the first week. If you walk around your block and come right back home, that's fine. That's fine. That'll be your accomplishment for the day. Do what you want the first week, but make sure that you do it every day, at least Monday through Friday, or Tuesday through the following Tuesday, or Saturday through the following. You get the drift. You have to remember that if you push yourself a little bit too much in the first week, let's say, for example, your best friend is running 5 miles a day, and you're like, all right, well, if I walk from here to here, it's going to be 5 miles, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. The following day, you're not going to want to get out of bed because you're going to dread having to walk all that distance that your body isn't used to walking or running or jogging. So make sure that you start off with lower expectations in the first week. That way, the following day, you'll know that you're not going to push yourself too much. Your body is an amazing instrument, and when it's ready to be pushed or to do a little bit more than what you are making it do, it'll let you know. You will feel the urge to want to do more. But meanwhile, first week, keep it simple. 7, if you did it, if you walked around your block, be happy. Tell all of your friends. Post it on Facebook. Post it on Twitter. Your real friends that care about your health are going to be happy for you, and they're going to offer positive thoughts. They're going to offer positive feedback and say, hey, keep it up, and stuff like that. And also, it makes you accountable. Just remember that walking, jogging, or even running is so good for you. It's such a good stress reducer. It puts you in a better mood so that you can handle life a little bit easier. It doesn't make life better because you're still going to have stressful things happening to you, but because you've ran in the morning or you've jogged or you've walked, you seem to be able to kind of like go with the flow a little bit easier and deal with life. So hopefully these tips have helped you. If you have any questions or if you have any concerns, comments, or maybe you have your own tips that you can add to this list, go ahead and post them in the comments area, and then everybody can read each other's tips and tricks on how to get walking, jogging, or running in the mornings. Take care, you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.